People, if you didn't know, anybody listening, if you did not know, the sun moves. Because apparently that's the issue I'm having right now. All right. So either way.
Well, okay. So
we agree.
Let's talk about this for a second, because once again we have a factual statement that is incorrect. So that doesn't make any sense. But basically, he got his facts.
All right, you know what
the Earth actually rotates around the sun, so the Earth actually moves.
The Earth moves,
not the sun. All right, and welcome to yet another edition of Game Wild. It is week 5, so believe it or not, we have decided to continue to do this after a month of doing it.
Why is that so hard to believe, Joe?
Well, it's not hard to believe, but you know, this is not part of gaming, what I'm about to say, but last week's episode, I discussed the fact that I was hoping when we recorded this episode that a certain team would have won a certain game, and it didn't.
Oh, you're starting with the feel bad story. Okay,
well,
okay.
You know, I gotta draw the people in and let them know that there's a story. But first, a message from our sponsors. This is me, Ruffhouse Plays at Twitch.
We are now sponsoring ourselves.
We're sponsoring ourselves, absolutely. So you can find me on Twitch at Ruffhouse Plays. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And this is my partner in crime. Justin, aka SJW, aka Shit Just Works. Say hello to everyone, Justin.
With a new mic, or not? Sorry, not a new mic. Jesus, I don't even know what I got now. A new light, might I add? Which I get if I move closer, it looks bright. I don't know. I'm still testing the lights, so you know, if you do check out the YouTube channel, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Give me some feedback on those lights there, and yeah. So wait, God, I'm so bad. I'm so bad at this podcasting thing, and my mic's all messed up now too. All right,
we prepped everything to start this, and here he goes playing with his mic again. So hopefully he'll fix that in post. If not, you hear the mic moving around. If you didn't, that means he fixed it in post, and he's actually good at editing this stuff.
I don't edit. So, what's editing? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So I have to just bring out a shout out because one of my good friends from well, he's been all over the place because he worked for the military. He's a retired military person now. Virginia, Kansas City. Now he's in Alaska. He is an old World of Warcraft buddy that we used to play on Cenarius. So if you guys play World of Warcraft and you're listening and you have a character in Cenarius, look up a character by the name of Zevach. So that's Z-E-V-A-C-H.
Zevach.
And no, hold on a second. I got that wrong because it's his last name spelled backwards. And I spelled it wrong. So spell Chavez backwards. And
Chavez. C-H-A-V-E-Z. Z-E-V-A-H-C.
Yeah, there you go.
all right. Like it's not even my friend, and I know how to spell it. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, wait, what is I'm not a huge. I never really played a ton of WoW. I played Classic when it came out with you. But what is Cenarius to you? Like, what do you know Cenarius as?
Cenarius is the realm in which we play. So
is it also a character though?
No, it's a place.
Really?
But yes.
So it's just the reason I ask is because I play a lot of Hearthstone, and there's a card Cenarius, however you want to pronounce it, in that game that it's like this horseman creature.
Okay. All right. Let's back up. Actually,
do you not know your WoW lore? Unbelievable, Ruffhouse. Oh god damn. All right, so it is like a horseman thing, right?
It is. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's a horseman thing.
So, okay.
So for those listening, Cenarius is a horseman thing.
I feel like we should really replay this one. Replay this part. That's horrible.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Guys,
it's been a long week.
We don't edit anything here on Game Wild. We don't edit anything. This is all live and raw footage, okay?
Yeah. So, yeah. The Lord of the Forest. Yeah.
Wow. So did you actually play WoW, or are you?
I guess I did at some point in my life, and then I blocked it out because it was such a horrible experience.
I mean, most people want to block out WoW from their lives. I mean, dude, that game took over like a portion of all my friends' lives.
I've always played on Scenarios, so I just felt like it
was just a server. Yeah, I feel you. It's okay. Yeah. We'll give you a get out of jail free card this time. It's fine.
Probably not. At least all the other people who played WoW. Anyways, I played WoW, but I was never really big into most of the story, so forgive me for making the mistake that Scenarios is actually a character.
Goes to show you how accurate Hearthstone is based on the lore of WoW, though. So there is that.
Oh yeah, because it's made by them. Anyways,
yeah, same exact company. So
going back to that. He is a tank for the most part. He does play other characters, and he has plenty of them. And so I haven't played WoW in a long, long time. So that's probably why I'm a little rusty in remembering what things are. But he and I are still friends on Facebook. He follows me on Twitch. He tries to contribute when he can. Obviously, living in Alaska is a far place.
Wait, he lives in Alaska? Wait, did I miss that when you said it earlier? Did you say that earlier?
Yes.
Oh, God. Yes. Jeez. Wow. Really? You know, it's funny. I used to know a couple guys with the old company that I was running that lived in Alaska. It's funny how many people actually live there. You think there's only like 5 people that live there in an igloo, but there's actually a lot of people there. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. So we actually going to talk about news or what? What's going on?
No. I just have to say something because I broke down the background of the situation. Well, he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Oh, okay.
So it behooves me that I feel like I should congratulate him on his team winning and defeating my favorite team in the big game. So I told him to listen to this because I was gonna give him a shout out on this. That my hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the big game there. And
listen, I don't know if your friend's gonna
49ers blowing my 10-point lead.
Yeah, your 49ers did. And it's funny because I left your house around like Jesus, I don't know. It was
just
like
after halftime,
right around the third quarter or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were still up. And
they were up 20-10.
Yeah, then they just completely blew it. So and you know what? You were right. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm looking at right now?
What?
The glare.
Yes.
Oh God, man,
this is just gonna be the worst podcast you've ever listened to. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna get anything right. I'm not gonna be accurate on.
It's okay. It's okay.
SJW is gonna have bad glare. It looks like he's like an angel's behind it. Right.
I just fixed it.
Son, he just fixed it. We're all over the place. I'm still grieving over the loss.
And listen, I don't know if your friend's gonna hate me for saying this either, but listen, their QB, he just looks like a douchebag. What's the girl from the? Yeah. That's exactly what I was just thinking of. Yep, yeah, Darlene.
Yep. So, anyways, hats off to him. Now we'll start to talk about video game stuff that I'm gonna get wrong. Apparently, I can't even remember.
Oh, that's right. That's what we're here for. Okay.
I forgot. Yeah, and we're gonna have to throw that in as the opening thing of our podcast. I don't know anything about video games. So, anyways, going back to the things that we're actually doing on this podcast, we're going to touch over a couple of wild things happening in the gaming world. The first thing that caught our eye was, something that's been speculated about.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about wild.
I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true it is. I mean, it's like saying, hey, 2 and 2 makes 4, so maybe this could be the same idea. But anyways, there's this virus out there. It's really affecting Asia. And
who named this virus, by the way? Was somebody drunk when they named this virus?
No idea. Maybe they were drinking Corona. So the coronavirus apparently has struck such a big, epidemic, I guess, in China, that there's a possibility that the systems that we're looking forward to in the holiday of 2020, which are the PS5 and the Xbox X series, may be delayed due to the fact that they just don't have enough workers to make these things because of the outbreak of the virus and the fact that there are tons of people who are affected by it, and there's possible quarantine zones. I don't know the full effect of it, but there's been back and forth. Some reports are saying that delay is inevitable. Some people are saying it's just wild rumors and that a delay will not happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that
they say, well, listen,
I want you to know.
The article is on Tech Radar, which is a pretty good site as far as news is concerned. And I mean, they say it's probably very unlikely that they're going to be delayed. I tend to agree with that. I also think, didn't they get the coronavirus under control or something? Or didn't
I have no idea, but I don't know. It's possible. I heard something about a cruise ship. They were a bunch of people on a cruise ship tested positive for it, so who knows?
Oh, great! That's awesome.
But you can't believe everything that you hear or see on the
well,
internet.
let me read this real quick for you listeners out there, so you can get a little bit of the news from the article. The video game sector is currently manufacturing or beginning to. I wanted to do that in like a voice. I don't know.
Oh, you
a once in several years product generation change for the 2020 holiday season. The note reads: if company shutdowns exceed a month or so, game schedules will be delayed. New consoles may likewise suffer supply issues from a prolonged disruption ahead of their fall 2020 planned launches. I think, honestly, this is just preparation by Sony and Xbox, or maybe just one and not the other, who knows. One of them might think they might miss a deadline or might miss manufacturing quotas, and they're like, all right, let's prep ourselves and use this as the scapegoat should that happen. I think, honestly, that's what's happening. I don't think either one's going to miss, but I think in the off chance that one of them does, they now have this as a fallback, and they can just blame the coronavirus for why they didn't hit whatever goals they have.
I'm not so sure about that.
You don't think so?
No, I think that there's just people in the know that are looking at it and saying there's a possibility that reports from their manufacturers have come back with, expectations that are going to be falling short due to the fact that they don't know how this is going to get taken care of. And I don't know much about the manufacturing part of the video game world and when things start to get put into manufacturing, because if you really think about it, they're probably not going to actually make these things until, if it's going to be released in November, maybe September, maybe August. So we still have a good amount of time in the year
before they actually start production.
They start and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe they're producing them now and they're just keeping them on a because they want to get the artwork right for the boxes or something. But I just don't know how something that's happening in January, unless it continues to go forward, and maybe that's it. Maybe they're just going off of the idea that this virus might be around for some time, and that's why it could affect it. But I just don't see it affecting the release if they can manufacture these things or start manufacturing them in July and August and have them ready for November, which is what I think is going to be the release window.
Well, either way,
2020 is going to be November.
I mean, you don't think that this is going to affect anything, though, right? In the grand scheme of things, yeah.
I mean, unless it gets worse, then
unless it becomes significantly worse, yeah. Wow, this sun today, man. Oh my god! Literally, as I move it, it follows it. Oh wait. Here. I'm gonna move it on the other side of the light. All right, people, if you didn't know, anybody listening, if you did not know, the sun moves. Because apparently that's the issue I'm having right now. All right. So either way.
Well, okay. So
we agree.
Let's talk about this for a second, because once again we have a factual statement that is incorrect. So that doesn't make any sense. But basically, he got his facts.
You know what
the Earth actually rotates around the sun, so the Earth actually moves.
The Earth moves,
not the sun.
All right. Well,
so guys,
something is moving.
Now you learn that the sun doesn't move around the Earth. The Earth moves around the sun.
See, this is actually a science podcast.
Exactly. I mean, jeez. Gosh.
All right, but hey, on the bright side, we both agree that coronavirus is probably not going to affect. We actually agree on this. I don't think
so.
Okay.
If anything, all we've done is created 2 great drop openings for our podcast. So that's all I can say about that.
All right.
So
next
let's go to some money. Let's talk about money. Everyone, money. And apparently Activision is making money. So
yeah, I know that's a real surprise, right? Activision making money.
Yeah, you'll notice that there's a theme going on with our podcast, and it's just because it intrigues us, and it's always intrigued me in regards to the fact that microtransactions and spending money inside a game that you already paid $60 most likely for is making even more money off of. And so an IGN article that was just posted talked about the fourth quarter earnings call that happened on February 6th, which was only a couple of days ago. And Activision basically said that they made some good money on Call of Duty Modern Warfare because of some changes that they made in regards to trying to be more cross-play and cross-progression forward with their games. So if you have Call of Duty Mobile and you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, apparently they're basically integrating with each other. So if you play one or the other, you're getting stuff for both, apparently, at least from what I read. And it's a lot more focused on free content and getting the community to be engaged as an overall community instead of having your segments. Like, for example, any type of mobile game is its own mobile game, but then if it has something off of it in that world, in a Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC game, they're separate. They have the same characters or they're in the same lore, but things don't carry over to one or the other in some respects. That's basically what they're trying to integrate here. And the biggest thing about this is they removed season passes, they removed loot boxes, and they replaced it with this thing called Battle Pass. Now, I know that you were
It's just a glorified bundle. It's just, that's what it is.
Right. It is a bundle. But it's a cost-effective bundle from the looks of it, and it gives you a lot of cool stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I think it's good, right? I think it's great. I think Activision, I just feel like it's just another way for them to get into the news of something that's literally been done on like 70,000 other games, right? I mean,
but it's, I think the uniqueness of it though is the fact that this is a game that you would normally pay $60 for, and now they're removing you paying $30 for new content with a season pass, which is the average cost of a season pass is usually $29.99, and loot boxes so you can get guns and stuff like that. They still have in-game currency, so obviously you can buy stuff with that, and it does come with some of the in-game currency if you buy the
exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that what they're doing is new and innovative. I'm saying that they're changing the way a $60 game you would normally buy is being content-driven. So that it doesn't get stale without people having to spend a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, no, and I was actually mentioning this to you before we actually got on the podcast too. I think it's funny how people in general are willing to spend more money when you seem like you're not trying to make money. And it's just like, again, I know I keep mentioning Legends of Runeterra, beating this dead horse, but and I thought of this when the first week happened and we were able to purchase stuff again in Legends of Runeterra. So the way that game is set up is when you first download it, you can buy wild cards, quote unquote, which allow you to craft any sort of that rarity. So you can get 3 of each rarity once a week. And once you get it, you can't get any more for a week. So, people are like, oh my God, I can't get the cards that I want, yada, yada, yada. But it's like ingenious when you think about it, because now you're creating demand where there may not have been demand. And then once that week hits, I bet you damn near every single person that owns that game is on top of buying those wild cards. And it's the same thing with this Call of Duty thing now. Oh, you mean it's free? Well, now I want to spend money because everybody else is also getting it for free, and I want to have the cool stuff and spend money on the cool stuff and have the one up on people spending a little bit of money. So it's just, I mean, that's like a psychological thing at that point. I think almost every game is now moving to, we don't want to try to make money, But hey, if you want to spend money, we're not going to stop you, you know?
Yeah, and let's not be mistaken. Call of Duty is a game you have to pay for. It's not free to play. It's just the fact that
Oh, yes. Yeah, my bad. My bad.
They removed a lot of the stuff that you would have to pay for on the extra side, and they've just thrown this type of battle pass thing in. And going back to your Legends of Runeterra point, I finally had some time to sit down and play it a little bit more today. I crafted my own deck, and I created this cool deck that I really liked. And I was saying to myself, ooh, maybe I should buy a pet to go with my deck and buy one of the actual areas that goes with my deck to kind
which
of
you don't need
for my character.
Which you don't need at all.
Yep. It is totally, to my knowledge, just a cosmetic situation, including the battleground area. So that doesn't change anything to your knowledge, right? So if you buy like the ice background and stuff like that, doesn't matter. It's just it adds music and ambiance to your game, but it doesn't affect the gameplay. And then the pet that you have, the Guardian is what they're called, right? The little guys, Guardian. Like you get the Porg as your default one.
Poro.
Oh, Poro.
Sorry. Get it right. It's a Poro.
Right. That was a Star Wars reference. Porg was a Star Wars reference, I believe. So, once again, making mistakes. That's what we do here, apparently, on Game Wild.
Hey, man, this is a learning stream, all right? This is a science stream, a game stream, a WoW stream. We get so much going on today.
So, anyways, going back to it, there was like a shark with a
the baby shark
chain on it, the baby shark. I was thinking about that one, and then there was another one like a dog.
With the glasses?
No, I don't remember what he looks like now.
Oh Jesus, I don't know which one.
But you're gonna look him up. You're gonna have to look him up. But anyways, one of those two. They're about 560 coins, Runeterra coins or whatever you call them. And so I looked at it and I'm like, oh, if I spent $9.99, I get like 1,100 coins. I can buy that, and then maybe I can buy a pack or something. But I didn't buy it, although it's still kind of like one of those things where I'm thinking about it.
Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna cave. You're gonna do it. I can tell.
So, because I built what I felt was a pretty cool deck. As a matter of fact, it's kind of funny because when I was telling SJW about the deck that I built, he actually showed me the best deck in the game, and it was actually based off of what I was trying to build. And so so I felt like that gave me a little bit of like good feeling inside that I kind of know how to build.
You're doing something right.
That I'm doing something right for a game that literally I've had 6 hours of exposure to total gameplay and stuff like that, and basically it's a deck that goes off of basically getting beat up.
And again, you know? just to go to this whole thing, you know, you look at it from them marketing the game standpoint, from a true like psychology business perspective, by them giving you a free game, because this one is free to play. So Call of Duty isn't. You pay the $60, you buy it. Legends of Runeterra is 100% free to play. When you buy this game, you're already like, oh my god, Riot's so cool. They gave me a game and I gave them nothing. Like, they gave me something up front. So you already have a positive like outlook on Riot and the game itself, because you have gotten value and given nothing for it. So now that's why you're like, oh well, this Guardian looks really cool and I already got this game for free, so I want to buy it, you know. So it's just really interesting what's happening with gaming now and what businesses are doing to really provide value to the consumer and still make money somehow. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, another thing that I want to point out, and I had brought up to SJW, and I want the listeners to kind of chime in on this as well, is we talk about all these free-to-play games, and I don't know, and anyone who may know, correct me if I'm wrong, because once again, we've had plenty of mistakes on this podcast today already. A major franchise releasing a free game under their franchise name. So, like, for example, let's go Call of Duty, just for the sake of talking about it since it was there. They have their Modern Warfare series. They bring it out on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC, and it's usually around $59.99. What if next year they release a brand new Call of Duty? It's Modern Warfare again, or it's Modern Warfare 2 or 3 or whatever they want to call it. but it's that type of game. It's all the bells and whistles, a storyline, everything, and they gave it to you for free. And then they just released things like these battle passes and content updates that you could buy for a minimal amount. I wanna say I think one of these companies could do it, and I don't know who's going to be the first to be so bold, but I'm not talking about like mobile or anything like that where they throw out a game that is part like their game but it's for mobile. I'm talking about a game that you would have spent $59.99 on, giving it to you for free, and then throwing out stuff for content and things like that, but also having a good single player aspect to it too. Not just like a battle royale or a Fortnite or something like that where you're paying for nothing, you're just playing with people online to be the best and buying cosmetics. I'm talking about like the full shebang, storyline, multiplayer, all of it into one at no cost to the consumer, and then adding extra things on. I just love.
I don't think there is one, and I'm looking up a bunch of I'm looking up the top free to play games, right? And to your point too, you could say, well, Legends of Runeterra, League of Legends is like a huge free to play game.
Free to begin with.
Well, it was free to begin with. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So no one knew about that game.
You mean like a Call of Duty or a Mortal Kombat or
or World of Warcraft, or
like
Warcraft,
a huge game
like that.
And I don't think there is one. The only one you could argue is possibly Dota. But technically, that's not one either, because Dota, just because it's a mod of Warcraft, doesn't mean technically it's Warcraft. So I still wouldn't categorize Dota as free to play based on that.
No, because it's not a franchise.
Yeah, it's not the Dota franchise itself. Yeah,
it's like saying, you know what, StarCraft 4 is going to be free, or Diablo 4. That was the game we were talking about.
I think Diablo 4 being free would be crazy. That would be, oh my god.
They released it with 4 characters to start. You can buy extra skins, things like that with the characters, and then down the road when they want to put an expansion out, you pay for the expansion stuff, but you only pay for certain parts of the expansion. I still think they have to give you a little bit of content for free, but I think that, to be honest with you, is where it's at. And I love to see who's going to be the first major franchise in the gaming world to put their money where their mouth is.
Now I'm kind of hoping it's Diablo 4. So thanks for putting that thought into my head. Now I'm going to be severely disappointed when Diablo 4 comes out. I'm like, why am I paying for this game? So thanks a lot, Joe.
Yeah, we're going to have to app Blizzard and let them listen to this. I think that they're gonna roll over and be like, well, our Diablo mobile game's going to be free. That's not what I'm talking about. Everyone has a mobile game that they're giving out free. I'm talking about your franchise hardcore people who play it on PC, Xbox, and PS4, or who knows, maybe this one's going to be on the PS5 and the Xbox X. But I'm telling you, somebody's got to do it, and I bet you they're going to make a ton of money on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So now I wanna change gears a little bit into this other article that I found, and I don't necessarily think we're gonna spend too much time on it, but I just think it's funny because I just think me personally, I think this is hysterical because I read this article and I'm like, who fucking cares? I don't care. And this article, what I'm referring to is, it was on a website called 9 to 5 Google, which is actually a pretty funny website domain. NVIDIA GeForce Now hands-on. I guess that's the full name of it, is NVIDIA GeForce Now. I always thought it was just NVIDIA GeForce, but I guess that's technically their graphics card. Currently Stadia's biggest game streaming rival. To me, so does anybody care about Google Stadia anymore? Does anybody give a shit? Because I don't.
Somebody might.
Because that
not us.
That system is ass. It's terrible. Now NVIDIA GeForce, I have heard things in the I don't know, the guild works of NVIDIA GeForce Now, but same deal. It's just like a streaming like video game library that you can hook up to a controller or anything like that. And I just don't think, everybody's all like streaming's the future of gaming, yada yada yada. I just don't think that Stadia or NVIDIA did it right, or Google or NVIDIA, I should say. I just think they failed miserably. I think PlayStation almost had it with PS Now. I'm very disappointed that actually didn't work. Now, is Xbox's, more about Xbox's Game Pass, right? Is that similar to this in a sense? Because can't you stream older Xbox games on that, or no?
Well, you can play older Xbox games that are in the Game Pass series, but you can't like you're still downloading them. You're not like playing.
You're
them
not
off
truly
of a
streaming them. Okay, yeah.
Right, exactly. And Xbox has a streaming feature, but it's local. So you can connect up to your Xbox via a Windows 10 PC that's on the network,
and then stream
and you can play. And then you can play your Xbox from anywhere in your home that has network connection.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to watch TV and you want to play your Xbox, as long as it's
but not a library of games online that you can stream to your Xbox. So
right. So if for example I'm upstairs, I do have an Xbox here in this area, but if I didn't and then an Xbox downstairs, I could turn my Xbox on. I could come up to this Windows 10 machine. I could connect an Xbox.
Play it on your window. I
could play an Xbox. Yeah, I could. But here's the thing: you can plug an Xbox controller into your computer, and it will recognize it, and you can play. And so you don't have to worry about the wireless.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about it being wireless. It will understand the input and take it from.
Oh, even though it's playing it on the X. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Well, that's
not
pretty
like
cool.
When you play not like when you're playing a Steam game and you plug your Xbox controller in and then it
realizes the so now here's my question about this whole streaming thing then. So Xbox isn't they don't offer anything like PS Now. Now Stadia and Nvidia GeForce Now were basically exactly what PS Now was. Now PS Now failed. I actually had a PS Now subscription. I thought it was cool. I mean, I streamed God of War, like freaking the original God of War you could stream. And you didn't have to download it, nothing. You could just play it. And Little Big Planet, like everything. And so the question is, if a major video game company like PlayStation did PS Now, failed, they're discontinuing it. You have newcomers like Nvidia and Google. Both are giants in gaming in general and just the tech industry. Why is this not catching on? Why is the gaming community seemingly being like, fuck you, that sucks, we're not buying it? Like, to every single streaming platform.
I don't know. I think it's probably got to do with maybe library content.
The libraries have been huge, though. Like, PS Now was ridiculous.
But if you have a huge library of garbage per se, or you have just a pure
whoa are you hating on PlayStation's library of games right now?
No, I'm not, because I don't know what the library
it's humongous
included, but here's the thing, not everyone's into nostalgia. Okay, not everyone's gonna want to play a game that they played 20 years ago,
so maybe
pay for that.
Well,
but if you put out games that you'd have to pay $60 right now, and part of your subscription was you were able to stream it, now you're talking about something different.
So you're saying the disconnect between old games and new games. So you're saying so with that statement, you're basically saying that there's a lesser percentage of gamers that actually want to play nostalgic old school games on newer consoles, and more people want to play newer games, and these streaming services you don't really have access to the newer games. Now wait,
exactly.
I actually don't know. Did Google Stadia give you access to any, like, could you play like the new Call of Duty on Google Stadia?
I don't think you could unless you had the game itself. Like you had to purchase the game.
So you still had to purchase it, and then you could play it on Google Stadia.
Right. To my knowledge, that's how it played out for Stadia for the most part. And then they had their own library of games. That's how it worked.
Yeah, so you know what it is? No, because now I'm looking at their game list. Like, they have Cyberpunk listed on here.
They have a game that's not even out.
Well, yeah, but it's just saying it's gonna be available.
Yeah, but it's gonna be available probably for purchase on the Stadia to play. Not it's gonna be included in the subscription to play it.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna look into Stadia a little bit more, because I personally,
because you know who is doing that? Xbox is doing that with the Game Pass. They have specific games that come out brand new that are available day one on their Game Pass, that if you didn't buy at $60, and most of them were $60, you got part of Game Pass, including games like Gears of War. Gears of War 5 was part of the Game Pass.
You're right.
Crackdown 3, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right, because there's two different Stadias. They have a Stadia Base and a Stadia Pro, and the Pro is $9.99 a month. Stadia Base is free. But Stadia base, you don't get additional free games released. You just, and then it says buy games whenever you want. Yeah, so the only way you have it is you have to buy games. So it's like you're basically buying the Stadia to just have access to stream games whenever you want. So I don't know. I think it's interesting that people aren't grasping on the streaming.
And I think there's an infrastructure cost that just doesn't seem to jive with companies that are doing it now. They're realizing, hey, we're not making the revenue we thought we were going to make because we have to have hundreds of thousands of servers streaming these games for people. It's not like it's magic. There's a bunch of stuff
video games aren't magic? What?
Well,
I've been lied to my whole life, Ruffhouse. What is this? All right, so the next topic we got here is Jesus, where did I put it? All right, so I found this one. This one, I think I could talk for like a straight 24 hours about this. Dude, if we were at that point where we could put like a Fox News analyst on with both of us, so we could just yell at the Fox News analyst and just be like, "This is why you're wrong." I would love to do that. So essentially, it's a Fox News article, and the Fox News article, as usual, and it doesn't surprise me that it's from Fox either, is video games are a mental health hazard for kids. So Joe, I'll defer to you. What's your first thoughts on this?
I mean, it's been a topic of conversation since the first video game ever came up, I'm sure. At least until they got more realistic. But I mean, they want to blame everything they can on any type of media outlet that's possible. Music in the 70s and the 80s was the first ones to get attacked because of the language and all the stuff with the rock and things of that nature. And it's ridiculous that people still cannot take responsibility for their own actions. You have to blame other things for it, and it's sad. It's, we talk about nature versus nurture. If you're going to go into the science of how people act and how they react, it's the society that's causing these types of issues, not video games and music
or parents. Well,
that's part of the nature versus nurture. It's the idea that how you're brought up causes that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say something funny here, because I hate putting out things and saying, hey, you guys should check this out or whatever that's not video game related. But we just started watching the Netflix series Mindhunter, I think it's called.
I think I watched like one episode of that.
And it's about how the FBI started profiling serial killers and stuff like that and figuring out how crazy he is. And the first 3 episodes really focus on the fact that most of these people had mommy issues or had parent issues that brought them to this level. And so I don't think that people like Charles Manson and Ted Bundy and people like that were killing people because they played a game. And funny enough, when they were around, the games weren't even that violent, if there were any games, to be honest with you.
There was no Grand Theft Auto 3 back then, I'll tell you that much.
That's true. No, there were no Grand Theft Autos back in those days. So, I just think this is just another way to blame.
Well, here's a good... I mean, because, these articles come out all the time. These articles probably at least once a month. There's something... I should say once a month an article comes out, and probably once a year there's a significant event that happens somewhere in the country that somebody tries blaming video games on, right? And it seems like it's like clockwork, right? And you'd think with how big esports and everything has just grown among video games that people would just give up by now. But it's, not for nothing football, because you're a football guy, right? Same thing with football, which is it's oddly similar when you think about it. People, are now being really critical of football with like head trauma and injuries and people killing themselves after, retiring and stuff like that. So it's very similar in that respect. But I think with video games, it's different because it's not as physical. Like, you have the control of what you think while you're playing the game. It's not like somebody's just hitting you upside the head 20 times and you don't have a choice as to whether or not you get hit in the head. This you have a choice with. So one of the things, a little excerpt, if I can speak properly, from the article, is and this is interesting to me. It says kids who use video games as a distraction or to escape life were found to have higher symptoms of lower self-esteem and negative emotions. So, what I'll defer to you again. What do you think about that statement first? Because then I'll answer.
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, in a sense, video games are an escape. So, and sometimes it's escape from negative things that are happening in your life or negative things that are just around, you know. But once again, it comes down to society. You're just trying to get away from it all, but I don't think it perpetuates your anger, angst, or negative feelings towards whatever you're feeling. I just think you're using video games as kind of a mechanism to get away from all that stuff's still there, and it's not going to remove it for sure, but it's not going to make it escalate any further.
All right, so I agree. Yeah.
Well, if anything, it's going to help you get out some of the frustration that you may have, and maybe turn some of that anger and aggression to something in a digital world versus doing it in real life.
Yep.
And I think, but once again, it's not the game that caused you to be upset, to want to remove those frustrations out of your body. It's society and the people who treat you poorly and the way society can alienate you. That's why you do what you do, you feel the way you do. And if you don't have the right people support around you to help you through that stuff, then of course that person can become violent, that person can become suicidal, that person can become a whole bunch of things, which is why I feel like these stupid things that come out on Fox News and stuff about how we need to blame media, entertainment for the reason why people are violent, the reason why people do things to themselves. I just think people just need to look in the mirror and say, how have I treated other people today? And how can I make up and just be a better person to everyone, you know? Everyone's, you know, and that's the problem. That's really the problem.
So no. Well, that's why I said we could both talk about this forever. I mean, and I think, dude, we 100% agree about this, because I think we both acknowledge the fact, and I agree with this too, that yes, if you continue to play, if you have a shit life, you were raised shitty, you're in a poor neighborhood, low-income housing, you hang out in gangs because of that, right? And then you start playing Grand Theft Auto 5 all the time. Do I think that Grand Theft Auto 5 isn't exactly, you know, gonna benefit this person? Sure. So that's just from a realistic standpoint. So, like, yeah, maybe that person shouldn't be playing Grand Theft Auto 5. But Grand Theft Auto 5 is not the cause. All of the shit leading up to Grand Theft Auto 5 was the cause. And they wouldn't be in a situation where they shouldn't play Grand Theft Auto 5 if it wasn't for all the people that shit on them, you know, up until that. So that I think is the problem, because yeah, and then the other thing, yeah, video games are escapism at its finest. And everybody at some point in their life, no matter how hard you work or how productive you are, is going to want to escape. You're going to have that day where life sucks and you want to just go chill and forget about it all. Everybody has one of those days. You can't avoid it. But the problem becomes when people only want to do that, and then they start ignoring what's actually happening in their lives. So that's why the huge stereotype when people talk about food stamps and stuff is like, oh, well, you're getting food stamps, but you can afford a PlayStation 5 and a brand new flat screen TV. Well, yeah, because your priorities aren't straight. But your priorities aren't straight because of other issues. It's not because of video games. You're just now using video games to ignore your priorities. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sick of these articles, man. I'm so sick of these articles. We
probably won't have another one up here for us.
No, we probably won't. But you know what? I hope, and I'm saying it now on week 5, so that come week 237. Yeah, dude, I'm looking far out here. When
like
hope,
4 years
yeah, right. When we are really making it big, we can have some idiot from Fox News on our podcast, so we can debate why video games are not bad for people in general.
You know, it's kind of funny because what you're saying right now is totally why we're probably not going to have anyone from any type of news outlet of that nature on, is because of the fact
because we don't agree with them.
Well, not just because we don't agree with them, but I mean, you're kind of insulting them, which makes them not want to come on these things. You kind of want to get people on by bringing them in and saying, hey, we're going to be fair, we're going to be respectful of your opinion on the situation, even if we strongly disagree with it. So
we can be fair. I'm not saying we're not going to be fair,
but you're already like damning them without even.
Oh yeah, because they're wrong. Because they're wrong. Come on, they're wrong.
That's why but that's why wouldn't get somebody of that caliber up, because of the fact that, you know, we'll be straightforward about it and not dance around.
No, who are you kidding? Fox wouldn't want to come on here anyways because they're Fox. Come on, you know Fox.
That's true.
So Fox is the last person I want to debate video games being bad or good with people. So, but I don't know, and I also think it's
entity, not a person.
No, Fox is a person. Damn it! All right. There might as well be a person at this point. So yeah, that's yet another article on why video games are terrible for people when they're really not. I will say they do mention in the article. So I'll give a little bit of credit to Fox. All right, so we'll be a little bit nice here. They did mention a couple times in the article. They actually led with it, but see, the end of the article with video games are bad. So they basically said, they did studies that video games do help with like. Different things, people that play video games are said to have better reflexes or better this and better that or better executive skills and stuff like that. So, they gave credit where credit is due, I guess, but it's like they just basically derail the whole thing and axe anything good that they said at the end because they're just like, nah, but people still kill people because of video games. So it's like, all right. So did you really say anything good in the article? So yeah, that's my take on it. So
that's the take. Well, with that take, it's time to close out the podcast yet again. We do want to start doing something pretty new. Going to week 5, getting some feedback and notes. And one of the biggest things that we want to start doing is kind of letting people know when new games are going to be coming out and what the drop dates are for those games.
Yes.
So what we're going to try to do is find the game that's coming out for the upcoming week. So we record this on a Saturday, so you'll probably receive this on a Monday. So most likely these games will be coming out between Tuesday and Friday of that week. So since this was your idea, SJW, why don't you let the people know what games are coming out this week?
Giving some knowledge like the sun moves. I'm good at that. All right, so it actually, what is it, Saturday? So the first game on here comes out actually on Tuesday. You nailed it. So and basically, and the last one comes out on Friday. Wow. All right, I didn't even check that before you said that. Good job. All right, so first up, which actually we didn't even. Metro Exodus Sam Story. I didn't even realize. Oh, that's DLC. Okay, so Metro Exodus Sam Story DLC. That comes out on Tuesday, so I have a little bit of downloadable content there. Yakuza 5 Remastered for PS4 also comes out Tuesday, and Day 1 edition, so I guess there's 2 in 1 there. Necronator Dead Wrong comes out on the 13th. Have you heard of that?
No, is that a PC game?
I don't know. It doesn't actually have a system listed next to it, so I'm gonna assume.
Hold on a second. I'm going to look it up. I just copy and pasted something and just deleted it off of there.
Oh, yeah, it's PC.
Well, yeah, I figured that. If you go on Steam, you'll be able to see it. Pretty interesting looking game.
That is pretty interesting. I think I might have just sold myself on the game by talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just... it looks like it's battle cards with some actual kind of like... battlegrounds to it. It's a mixture of cards and
it's what's
like
that
an
thing?
RTS.
No.
It's like an RTS.
You know those stupid games that started coming out like when PC gaming started becoming a thing? And no, not that this game's stupid. You know those games where like you have towers and it just sends units through the map and you have to upgrade your towers to kill the units before they get to the end?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It's exactly like that, except you also have cards that it looks like you can play to like affect you know, the whole thing while it's happening. So that's interesting. I actually haven't seen a game like that. So I wonder if that's the first of its kind or not.
Yeah, it's an early access game, by the way. So this game is one of the games that you'll be able to play and actually give feedback on before the official release actually comes out. I don't see a price, however, on the game from the looks of it. So we can't give you a price on it, but it looks pretty cool. And it's coming out on the 13th.
Best Friend Forever is the next one on here, which comes out on the 14th. That one is a... for a younger audience, it looks like. Ever wanted to raise a pup and somehow navigate the mysteries of human dating all at the same time? So it's looks like some sort of dating, raise a puppy simulator type deal, which is interesting. I'll probably pass on that game personally. So, but that is coming out on the 14th, right? Yep. And then Darksiders Genesis. Did you play the original Darksiders, Ruff?
I did.
Ah, very good game. So that comes out on the 14th. Cannot wait for that. Dreams. Darksiders comes out for PS4, Xbox, and Switch, by the way. Dreams, which is for PS4, comes out on the 14th. Do we know what that is? Dreams, looks like it's... Wow, that's a trippy looking game, too. Create, share, and collaborate on anything from games to gadgets, music, and movies, puzzles to paintings, and more, all from your sofa. So that, I think, was that something that they demoed? Didn't they demo that at a conference? Was it E3?
Maybe.
I think,
I don't know.
I think it was when they premiered Final Fantasy VII Remake. This was like a couple years back.
Maybe.
This is more of like an artsy, creative game, kind of like almost like a Little Big Planet type thing.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that.
So that looks like it'll actually be pretty good. The part is coming out, a back button attachment for DualShock 4 on the 14th, and then Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. You getting that?
No.
No? And that comes out on the 14th for PC and PS4. So that is what Wild Games and accessories apparently are coming out next week. So we're gonna try to do that each week. I don't know. I figured it would be interesting and useful. Provides value to the listeners as well, so you guys actually know what's up in the gaming world. Because I know personally, half the time somebody tells me something's coming out, I'm like, unless it's like a AAA title like Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remastered. You know, the big games, Madden. I mean, everybody knows Madden comes out the same freaking day every year. So, unless it's one of those games, I don't know what's coming out. So, this will actually keep us in the know as well, just kind of with what's going on and what new games coming out. I didn't know Dreams was finally coming out. And now I remember that that demo pretty vividly. And it looked like it was pretty good. So, I think that works with the VR, too. I think it works with the VR. In which case, I might actually get that. It looks good. So.
Yeah, and you know, actually, it's kind of funny. I clicked on something about Street Fighter V Championship Edition because one of the running jokes that I always had as a younger person was how many Street Fighter 2s there were. So, like, I don't even remember how long it took for Street Fighter to get from 2 to 3 or 4 or 5, to be honest with you. But I remember there was, like, we used to just make jokes about how, oh, a new Street Fighter's coming out. It's going to be called Street Fighter 2 Super Mega Edition +1 or something stupid like that. Yeah. Because all they do is make these editions and stuff. And I just clicked on it because if you already own Street Fighter 5, you can purchase a upgrade kit to get the Championship Edition. It's called the Championship Edition Upgrade Kit. And that will run you $24.99. And that will give you instant access to everything the Championship Edition currently has to offer. And apparently they have up to 40 characters, apparently. Because it says the 40th character, Seth, will become available for everyone on the same day that Championship Edition is released. So, whoever Seth may be.
So how many versions of Street Fighter V is there right now?
I think this is the only one.
So there's only 2. Okay.
But
so
it was just a joke that, like, yeah, that they, you know. But anyways, it's it's good to see that they're starting to go back to their roots and just not changing the number and just adding more content.
But see, that's the genius of Street Fighter 2, though.
And repackaging it.
Right. If you ever want to make money on a video game, you just release the game over and over and over again, and it'll eventually become the #1 selling game. So. All right, so I think that's it for this week, right?
that's it. I want to thank everyone who listened to the podcast, watched it on YouTube, put up with all of the incorrect facts we threw out there. And then at least we fixed them all. At least we basically went back and said to ourselves, hey, I don't think this is right. Let me just double check to make sure that I'm not saying something foolish, which I did. So going back to the WoW comment, and then obviously SJW not knowing how the Earth works.
Whoa. Excuse me. Let's get something straight. I wholeheartedly believe that the sun moves and the Earth is flat, and you will not change my mind. So I don't care what you say. We're going with that on the podcast.
We just lost all of our viewership. So rate us 5 stars. He's just joking.
Our credibility.
Credibility just went down the drain. Rate us 5 stars. Catch us in all of the awesome podcast places. Obviously, if you're listening to us, you're on one of them, and you're playing this. So we thank you. Watch us on YouTube, and we will see you earlier than normal because next week is a Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
Or is Valentine's Day's in this week coming up, and SJW and I both have a lot to do over the weekend, so we will be recording on Thursday, and we will probably release it sometime over the weekend, or maybe even Thursday night, depending on how much content we have there, because it is going to be a shorter one, so we might be able to get it out beforehand, so we don't miss a week technically. So we'd like to thank everyone for listening, and look forward to that next podcast coming out a little bit earlier than normal.
Definitely. Yep. Thank you very much, everybody. 5 stars. And yeah, okay, maybe the Earth is round and the sun doesn't move. Okay, maybe.